Hello and welcome to this week's practice. So I thought we'd focus a little bit on building some strength this week. So some of the poses that we're going to do, some of the movements we're going to do are strength building movements. If you find that I'm not doing them long enough and that you need to continue to help to build up your strength, you need to do them for longer, then just pause the video and carry on with the movements until your muscles feel fatigued. And then you can press me back up and start again. Alternatively, if you feel that I'm going for too long and you need to stop before I do, then just stop, wait for me to finish, and we'll carry on. So we're all very different in terms of where we are. So just adjust the practice to suit you. Okay, let's start in child's pose. Come through to the back edge of your mat. Big toes together. You can have the knees apart or together, your choice. Just take the arms out in front of you and bring your forehead down onto your mat. Take a couple of breaths. We're not going to be here very long. Just let your hips settle down towards your heels. And if it feels okay for you, coming up onto tented fingers. Just a couple of rounds of breath. Breath in and out through the nose. Just keeping your focus on your breath throughout the practice as much as you can. Take one more round. And then come back onto the palms, walk the hands back in towards you. So you come back through to upright and we'll just come through to kneeling. Take your hands onto your shoulders and just start to circle the elbows. Nice big circles through the elbows. Take it both directions. And then just releasing the arms, clasping the hands behind you. And then draw the knuckles away from you, a little bit of a lift up through the heart. Take the gaze up if that feels okay, but if not, just keep looking forwards. Really lengthen back through the knuckles. One more breath. And then as you exhale, release the hands down. Give your wrists a little bit of a shake. In fact, let's intertwine the fingers, just circle into the wrists, a couple of times each side. Well done. And then we'll come over onto all fours. Bring your knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath shoulders, and just take a couple of rounds of happy cat, angry cat, just to start to bring some movement into the spine. And then come back through to a flat back. Walk your hands a little bit further forward so your hips now drop forwards of your knees. Let the elbows bend alongside you as you slowly lower all the way to the floor. Let's bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Reach up through the crown of the head, draw the heart forwards. And then bend your left knee so your left knee comes up in line with your left hip. So you're not rolling the weight over to the right hip, almost a sense that that left hip point drops down towards the earth. Couple of breaths. I've got cramp in my right foot. And let's straighten out the left leg at the side, right leg bends up, right knee in line with the right hip. Right hip point drops down, keep reaching up through the crown. And then straighten that right leg. And then we're going to take, I have to move this way a little bit, the right arm out to the side. So right arm extends, left hand underneath left shoulder. Roll over onto your right hip. And then we're going to take a hold of the left foot with the left hand and just gently kick that left foot away from you. So you're getting into the front of the right shoulder, but also into the left quad. You can always put something underneath your head if you want a little bit of support. And then straighten out that left leg. We'll come back onto our stomach, do the other side. Left arm extends, roll onto your left hip. Bend up the right leg. Take a hold of the right foot with the right hand, gently kick the foot away from you. Awareness to breath, shoulders nice and relaxed, face nice and relaxed. And then release the right leg, come back onto your stomach, plant the hands underneath your shoulders, and we'll find a way up into all fours. Keep the toes tucked and take it back into a child's pose, but toes tucked. Couple of breaths here. Lengthen the tailbone back out behind you as you creep your hands out in front. Find some length. And then use your next in-breath. Bring the hands back and underneath the shoulders and bring yourself up through to a high kneeling position. And then from here, we're going to just take the arms alongside you, lengthen up through the spine. I'm going to untuck the toes, and then as you exhale, just start to lean back. So it's not a back bend, it's not hips forwards, lifting up through the heart. The hips are going back too. We're trying to keep a straight line, shoulders to knees. Just hold it for a couple of breaths. And then inhale, draw your thighs together to bring you back through to upright. Take a breath. And then on your out breath, we're going to go back again. So just go back as much as suits you. Starting to build a little bit of strength in the thighs. One more round of breath. Inhale, bring it forwards. Take a breath. We're going to do that one more time. But like I say, if you want to practice it a little bit more, feel free to press pause. And just keep doing it as long as suits you until you feel that your muscles are starting to fatigue. So lengthen on the in-breath, on the out-breath, start to take it back. One more breath. And then inhale, bring your thighs together to bring you back through to upright. And as you exhale, come back down onto all fours. And then extend your right leg out behind you. Lengthen there, and on your out breath, bend your elbows. Bring your chin down towards the mat. In breath, you come back up. Your chin might not touch the mat. You might just bend the elbows a little bit. Just come in as deeply as suits you. So exhale forwards. Inhale back up. 3 more. Well done. Next time you come back up, right knee comes back down onto the mat. We'll do the other side. Left leg extends out behind you on your out breath. Chin towards the mat. Inhale back up. Exhale down. 3 more. Again, another one that you could pause me on and carry on going if you felt that that was an option. Okay. Back up onto all fours. Left knee comes back down onto the mat. Tuck your toes and find your way into a downwards facing dog. And then as always for your first down dog, just pad out your feet, maybe shake your head. Just draw down through your heels. And then use your next in-breath to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, lower through the hips and take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, extend back out through the left heel. Let's swap it over. Right hand down, step it back, down dog. And then left foot forwards. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Reach back out through the right heel. And then bring the left hand back down onto the mat, step it back, plank pose. Couple of breaths in your plank. So engage the core, tailbones lengthening down towards your heels. And then on your out breath, nice and slowly, lower yourself all the way to the floor. So you come down with control. Untuck the toes, clasp the hands behind you, and inhale, lift up for Shalabhasana. Reach up through the crown of the head, draw the heart forwards. One more breath. On your out breath, bring yourself back down onto the mat. Hands plant underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes. Perhaps you can press up to plank and then back into your downwards facing dog. From your down dog, use your next in-breath. Step your right foot forward between the hands. Stay on the ball of the left foot as you reach the arms up alongside the ears. You come through into your high lunge. We're going to add in some movement. So the next in-breath, the weight's going to go onto the right leg. You're going to step the left foot forwards, lift the knee up in front of you, hands to heart. Inhale, step it back, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Okay, keep going with these. Work with your breath. Do one more. Step the left foot back behind you. You're back in that high lunge. Just take a breath there. And then release the hands down to frame your right foot and step it back into a one-legged plank. So right foot floats up. From there you can take it down to one-legged chaturanga. Inhale through your up dog. Exhale, downwards facing dog. Your next inhale steps the left foot forward between the hands. Come up, high lunge. And again, finding that movement. So your in-breath, right leg comes forwards. Exhale, we'll step it back. Inhale to bring it forwards. Exhale to step it back. Keep going. Couple more. Step it back. Again, if you want to if you want to pause me, feel free to. Try and do equal both sides. And then just take a breath in your high lunge. Release the hands to frame the left foot. Step it back. So you've got your one-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga. Inhale through your back bend. And exhale, downwards facing dog. So take a breath here, and then step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, left foot to the outside of the left hand, and come through into Malasana. If you want to modify and sit down on the mat, then do that. Couple of breaths, maybe just getting into your wrists again. Then bring the hands to prayer. Have a couple of breaths. And tailbone lengthen down, reach up through the crown of the head. And then using your next out breath, I'm going to take my arms out in front of me, but use your hands for support if you need to. I'm going to sit myself back down on the mat and come straight through into Navasana. So you can have your toes towards the floor, right angle in the knees, or you can straighten the legs. One more breath. Bend the knees. I'm going to come back into my malasana, but feel free to just take a seat for a moment. And we're going to go again. Sit yourself back. Your choice. Lift up through the heart. Try and stay long in the spine. Gaze fixed on one spot. One more breath. Bend the knees. I'm coming back through to malasana. You don't have to. Always make sure your practice suits you. We're going to go again. So sit yourself back down. This time arms to the right, knees to the left. Again, you could straighten the legs if that felt okay. Bring it back through centre, lengthen the spine, other side. Bring it back through centre, lengthen the spine. Back into your squat. One more round of breath. We're going for Navasana one more time. This time it can be your half boat if that feels okay. So as you exhale, you're going to sit back down. So either your choice, full boat, or take it back for your half boat. If you want to make it stronger, take your arms alongside your ears. Try and lift the shoulder blades up away from the mat. One more breath. Inhale, bring it back through to upright. Find your way back into Malasana. And then from there, we're going to parallel the feet as we straighten the legs. And just find our way into an easy forward bend. So if your hamstrings are feeling tight, just keep the knees a little bit soft. Couple more breaths here. Let the crown of the head release down. And then just release your hands down onto the mat. We're going to step it back, downwards facing dog. Now, you can do this on your knees if you don't want to do it from down dog. So any issues, just drop down onto the knees. So inhale, we're going to come forward through to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back to plank. Down dog. Right hand touches left shin. Back to your down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Back up to plank. Back up to down dog. Left hand touches right shin. And we're just going to work through a few of those. So plank, chaturanga, plank, right hand, left shin. Couple more. Again, one you might choose to stop early, or you might choose to pause me and to carry on. I'm going to try one more time each side. Come back into your downwards facing dog. And then bring your knees down onto the mat. Child's pose. Arms alongside you to give them a little rest. One more round of breath. Arms creep back out in front of you. Find your way back into your downwards facing dog. And then use your next in-breath. Step your right foot through between the hands. We'll come back up into that high lunge. And then using your next in-breath, we're going to step your left leg in front of you again, knee bent, so knee comes in towards the chest. And then from there, hooking onto your left big toe with the peace fingers of the left hand. And if you're able to, I'm going to have to move back a little bit. If you're able to, straightening out the left leg. If not, just keep the left knee bent. Let your left hip drop down towards the earth. And on your out breath, start to bend your right knee. Now, it might be that you just hover in place there. It might be that you can come all the way to the floor and that you find a balance. Kind of squeezing the energy in towards the midline. And then right hand maybe back to the floor if you've gone all the way down. Use your next in-breath. Bring yourself back through to upright. And then just soften that left knee and step the left leg back behind you into that high lunge. Okay, we're just going to pivot round to face the back edge of our mat. And then do the same thing, so weight onto the left leg, right leg comes up in front of you. Hook the big toe with the peace fingers of the right hand. If you want to keep the leg bent, that's fine. If you can work towards straightening out that right leg, then do. Lengthen there. And on your out breath, we'll start to bend the left knee. And maybe you're just coming down a little bit. Maybe you can come down all the way. And maybe you can hold the right foot, with both hands. Okay. Left hand back to the floor if you come all the way down. Inhale, bring yourself back through to upright. Wobbling all over the place as usual. Take one more breath. And then step the right foot back behind you. Back into your high lunge. And then from there, pivot to face the long edge of your mat. Toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, come through into your goddess squat. And if it feels okay, come up onto the balls of the feet. Couple more rounds of breath. And then drop your heels down onto the mat. Can you sit a little deeper in your squat? And then inhale to straighten up. We're going to come into our kind of Shiva squat to the right. So you're going to take your weight onto your right leg. Left leg's going to come up behind the right leg. Find a little bit of a balance there. And then you're going to extend that left leg out to the right hand side behind the right leg. So your left leg is straight, there's a little bit of a bend in the right knee. Come back through your Shiva squat. And then we'll do the other side. Weight onto the left leg, which has stepped out wide. Right leg comes up behind the left. And then you're going to step your right leg out behind the left and over to the left. Left knee bends, right leg is straight, and you're kind of on the knife edge of that right foot. Inhale, come back through the squat. Take the right leg back out wide, parallel your feet. Lengthen up, and on your out breath, as you exhale, fold forwards. Let's take the right hand to the floor, extend the left arm up towards the ceiling. Swap it over, left hand down, right arm extends up. Try and keep the hips square. You're not dropping the left hip down towards the mat. Bring the right hand back down. Pivot to face the front edge of your mat. Step back through into your plank pose. And we'll find a way into side plank. Right hand to the centre of the mat. You're rolling onto the little toe side of the right foot. Any wrist issues? You can do it on your forearm. If it feels a bit strong, drop your right knee. Drop your right knee down onto the mat to support you. If it feels okay, lift your left foot up away from the right. One more breath. Left foot comes down, back through plank, other side. So again, option of dropping the left knee down or coming onto the forearm. Option to lift the right foot away from the left. One more breath. Right foot comes down, come back through plank, chaturanga. Upwards facing dog. Linger there just for a moment, stretch it out. And then take it back, knees down, child's pose. Relax your arms. Take one more breath here. And then use your next in-breath, come back up onto your hands, tuck the toes downwards facing dog. And step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, drop down onto your left knee. And tuck the left toes, turn your right foot to the diagonal and extend your right arm out behind you. If you want to drop down onto your left forearm, you can. There is the option to bend up the left leg and take a hold of the left foot with the right hand. And you're just drawing the heel in towards the glute. Spin open through the right shoulder. Then release the left foot. Come back through centre. Step it back, down dog. And we'll do the other side, left foot to the outside of the left hand, turn the foot to the diagonal, right knee down. If you want to tuck, if you want to come onto the right forearm, you can. Left arm out behind you, and if you want to take a hold of the right foot with the left hand and draw the heel in, you can. Just look in whatever direction is comfortable for you. One more breath. And then release the right foot, come back through centre, step it back, downwards facing. And then from your downwards facing, we're going to come through to either kneeling or virasana. So I find it quite comfortable to sit down between my feet. If you'd rather be in a kneeling position, you can. Or if you want to sit on a block or two, then feel free to sit on a block or two, and that might make the pose a bit more comfortable for you. Only be here if it's not painful. If you find you've pain in this pose, then feel free to come out. So if you're sitting down on the floor and it feels okay, leaning yourself back. If you are sat on something, then don't go any further back than that. If your bum's on the floor and you're quite comfortable and you want to take it all the way back, you can come down into Supta Virasana. Connecting back to breath if you've lost it. Take one more round. And then use your next in-breath, bringing yourself back through to upright. I'm just going to stay here a moment. Take your left arm up alongside your ear, drop the hand between the shoulders, and either hooking on to your opposite fingers or just holding your t-shirt if you can't reach your opposite fingers. Reach up through the crown of the head so you're sitting up nice and tall. And then let's swap it over. So right arm up, left elbow behind, or left arm behind you. Take one more breath. releasing out your hands. And then if you are in Virasana, coming back through into a kneeling position and just nice and gently finding your way back into your child's pose. So from there, holding onto your feet, as long as you've got no neck issues, as you inhale, we're going to roll up onto the crown of the head. Also high blood pressure, heart conditions, you don't want to be doing inversions. If you have any of those issues and you want to know what modifications you should be using in your practice, feel free to drop me a message. And you can stay here, or you can clasp the hands behind the back and just start to lift the feet up away from the mat. So you're pointing your toes. Shashankasana, one more breath here. And on your out breath, feet come back down, bring it back into your child's pose. And on your in breath, bring yourself up through to seated. Okay, and then just lying yourself back down onto your mat for your Shavasana. And again, if you want to pause me now, pop some music on and just do your own relaxation, that might be a nice thing to do. Otherwise, just close your eyes. Slow down your breath. Relax your shoulders, your face. Let your body completely relax down. Feel heavy. All the muscles start to soften. And staying here in a state of calmness, relaxation and peace for as long as you need to. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.